A very good afternoon, and thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It's the 29th of June. In yesterday's video, I did, of course, speak about my first thoughts on winter. So it's more for fun, really, as opposed to anything else, but I'm kind of showing you the aspects that I'm looking at, considering with regards to the drivers that may be involved in the winter season coming up. So over the next few months, I will be building the ideas. But yesterday, do check it out if you are interested in kind of winter talk. You're maybe a wee bit fed up with the kind of summary stuff. You know, the weather pattern has definitely changed quite dramatically from what we've seen in the last month or so. And it looks as if through the first half of July, we are going to see a fairly westerly driven pattern, or certainly a negative NAO type pattern, actually. Some interesting stuff showing up in the models. But this was the video from yesterday talking about some of the aspects that need to be considered with the upcoming winter season. So do check that out. I also have released my July outlook also, so you can check that out on markvoganweather.com. There is a link in the description below this video, so you can check that out. By the way, this is the ECMWF weeklies for the upcoming 30-day period. And isn't that rather interesting? The CFSV2, which I showed you a couple of days ago, it's also, of course, shown on the July outlook on markvoganweather.com, but it has low pressure to the north, and we don't really have much in the way of strong high pressure either. So this is off weatherbell.com, and this is the period between the 28th of June and the 28th of July. And isn't that rather interesting? Let's have a look at the temperature anomalies for the same period and see what it's showing off the model here. So yeah, it's showing, you know, largely above average in terms of the continent. Even across Scandinavia, we've got a little bit below average across Scotland and Norway, warmer than average further east, as you can see here, and the majority of the continent warmer than average. A lot of that is the feedback of the warmer than normal sea surface temperatures, of course. But also with low pressure comes the possibility of surges of heat and humidity from the south. Also, I do think southern and central and eastern Europe could have some very significant hot spells this upcoming July. A terrific article produced by Severe Weather Europe. I will leave a link in the description below for this article if you are interested in the quasi-biennial oscillation, the El Nino, and various aspects that get taken into consideration for a winter driver. Do check out this because it is very, very interesting. It's very in-depth, very detailed. So check that out. And this is the temperature profile for the UK as of recording at 5 o'clock. You can see here fresh across the north. Relatively fresh even across the south compared to what we've seen so far. Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland is fairly fresh this afternoon also. So looking at the weather charts here, this is off weathercharts.com, and you can see here this is the ECMWF. So this is the deterministic, of course, and it's not an ensemble, of course, so you kind of slightly take these with a bit of a pinch of salt. You tend to want to look at more at an ensemble to get a better idea of the overall trend. But I think everything is looking fairly similar in terms of the overall solution as we go through the first period of the month here. If I can try and get to there we go. So you can see here as we play through, this is, of course, today. You've got this negative over Iceland. We've got this fairly strong positive extending from North America towards Iberia here underneath over the mid-Atlantic here. As we play through this sequence here, folks, you can see here how we end the month of June, begin the month of July with low pressure between Iceland and the UK here, of course. And, of course, in between the high and the low, we've got the jet stream here, reasonably strong. It looks as if as we press through the first week to 10 days of July, it will ease off. So we are going to see a little bit of a slowdown in the upper pattern, the progress of areas of low pressure moving from kind of west-east. But you notice here that as we play through into the first week of July, the negative starts to deepen over northwestern Europe here. And we've got a bit of a positive. Now, this is, of course, the mean sea level pressure anomaly. So it's not the upper level, it's the surface pressure chart. And you can see here the negative here over the UK, over Scandinavia, and the positive up towards Greenland and Iceland. This would certainly be an interesting pattern if we were in the month of December, of course. It would certainly be a lot colder. But notice here how these areas of low pressure kind of linger over the UK. We've got these systems then undercutting that block to the north, and areas of low pressure come in underneath that and into the British Isles, keeping things fairly unsettled overall. So we'll play back through the loop again. You see the build-up of pressure over Greenland, the North Atlantic here. The trough then sweeps in to Scandinavia, and it looks as if we kind of may get a little bit of a taste of northerly winds here. Nothing cold, nothing snow producing or anything like that, but simply a fresher feel, much cleaner air, and less in the way of humidity. And that is quite interesting to see here. I don't think it's an overly wet pattern, but we need to watch this system here. This is all the way out to Saturday, so this is not the upcoming Saturday, but the following Saturday. That area of low pressure, certainly in the raw model data anyway, is fairly deep in terms of its central pressure. If we look at the overview chart here, you can see that. We'll skip back to the current setup here. We'll play through the loop here. You can see systems riding between the low over Iceland, the high near the Azores, and then the jet stream roaring in between that. We've got these disturbances, these weather disturbances moving in off the Atlantic here and bringing unsettled conditions, fresher conditions to the British Isles. We continue to play through the loop. Notice here that area of low pressure, 986 millibar low, by the way. Could they see a bit of a squeeze in the isobars, indicating gales along the coastal areas, as that system may try to move into southern Norway, into Denmark. And with the high building over Greenland, we do have a little bit of a northerly fetch developing here, seen by the ECMWF. Another area of low pressure then develops in between the low and the high, and that could be a fairly decent rainmaker, may produce some gales along southern areas of the UK, Ireland, through the channel in the northern portions of France. Very different overall pattern to what we've seen so far, and it looks as if this pattern will hold, I think, through at least the first 10 days of the month. Then we'll keep an eye on this feature here, moving in between two areas of high pressure, in fact, one near the Azores, one up towards the far north, and we've got that system that develops in between, and that is a fairly deep area of low pressure moving towards the UK and Ireland here. So you get the overall idea. A short and sweet video today. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate that. The numbers have been absolutely terrific, especially for this time of the year. It's typically quiet, but obviously there's people there that are enjoying the content. I do appreciate that. Please leave a comment in the section below and let me know what you think of the content these days, because I'm trying to keep things as fresh and as interesting as possible. Of course, upcoming Sunday, I will be delivering the 48th edition of the Global Weather and Climate Report. Lots of interesting things going on around the world with regards to weather, and so stay tuned for that this upcoming Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you again tomorrow with the final weekday video here on the channel. Bye for now.